investigation.
Bad economy equals bad times for workers, even those who still have a job.
Now, government and court officials say they are seeing more complaints from people who claim their boss just isn't paying them. I-Team reporter Randy Travis is here with his special report on a frustrating situation. Randy?
It's also scary, Russ, Amanda. Just when you think that your job is safe, your paycheck doesn't show up on payday. Relax, says the boss. The check's on its way. So do you trust the boss or do you fight back?
I have scarring, I have blisters on pretty much my entire foot.
An icon for tough times. A pair of ratty shoes that belongs to a man who walked away from a steady job because he could not get a steady paycheck.
It was more of a chore to get paid than it was actually earn it.
Walk a mile in Carl Muller's only shoes, and you'll see a dilemma facing many workers these days. Ask yourself, what would you do if your boss decided not to pay you? Carl spent nearly 2 years maintaining the bowling lanes at the Atlanta Fun Center on Mountain Industrial. He made $2,000 a month straight salary, often, he says, working more than 60 hours a week. But according to his complaint with the U.S. Department of Labor, since May of 2007, the boss has often been weeks late with his paycheck. Some even bounced, causing many of Carl's personal checks to do the same. He says his bank and other check-cashing places eventually refused his business.
In fact, it became a running joke. We would all notify each other when we found a place to get it in that day, because by the time the next pay period come along, they wouldn't accept any more checks because those had bounced already.
Carl says he's got so many past due bills he couldn't afford new shoes. His complaint says the Atlanta Fun Center owes him about $2,800 in missed paychecks. 2 other employees have also complained.
You feel overjoyed when you get a paycheck, like it's a bonus or something.
We called it volunteer work. We would go to our volunteer service.
It's kind of pathetic in a way.
I don't understand why you're giving people checks when there's no money in the account.
So we're trying to get it straightened out.
Phil Hames is the man who signs those checks.
You don't understand the problems that these people are having not getting paid?
I do. I feel for them, I honestly do.
Well, what's the answer then?
We're trying to get it corrected. Everybody, the economy's tough, sir, for everybody.
You're still driving a Jaguar. This guy doesn't have any shoes.
This is a 3-year-old car, sir. Don't throw up. It's a Jaguar.
After our visit, Carl Muller says 2 of his payroll checks finally went through. And he says he could finally afford some new shoes.
And it wasn't for the tough economic times where finding a job's hard. I would have been gone a while back.
And there lies the dilemma. What do you do when your boss isn't paying you on a regular basis? Quit and walk away from a job that could turn around, or stay and run the risk of working for nothing? This retired Labor Department administrator says there's a third way.
So you advise employees to fight back?
Absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, they've put forth the labor. They should be paid their money.
Hap Perry spent 41 years with the U.S. Wage and Hour Division, the last 13 years as the regional administrator in Atlanta. Now he consults for the Jackson Lewis law firm.
If they stay or leave, they should pursue something to try to get that employer up to snuff on what they're owed.
And one option is to call in the feds. Carl Muller says he phoned Wage and Hour early on, but didn't get any help. He filed a more formal complaint a few days after he finally decided to kiss the job goodbye.
They basically had a noose hanging over us and no place to run.
I'm going to listen for as long as it takes you to tell me your case, and then I'm going to make up my mind.
Here's the other way to convince your boss to pay you. Take him to court.
Kind of scared me a little bit there. I didn't know if I was going to be able to collect on it or not.
When Ron Jones' boss didn't pay him for almost $4,000 in car detailing work, he sued her.
He did get my attention when there's a policeman at your door at 7:30 in the morning.
The 2 of them showed up in Gwinnett County Magistrate Court one night, worked with a mediator, and agreed on a payment plan.
If he hadn't gone to court, if he hadn't basically sued you, how long would it have taken for you to actually pay him?
Honestly, probably quite a while.
Ready to give him $1,000?
Yes, I am.
Give him $1,000.
She also has to pay her employees court costs. The rest of the money will be spread out over the next year. By that time, Ms. Martin is hoping the auto industry will turn around and she can get back to work with her favorite employee, who also happens to be her neighbor.
I did what I needed to do in order to get what I was supposed to get.
Well, we've posted a lot of information on our website for people who find themselves in a similar no-pay situation. So go to myfoxatlanta.com and click on I-Team. You have rights. You earned this money. You ought to be able to collect it.
Yeah, but the thought of having to go to court, I'm sure, intimidates a lot of people.
It's not really as scary as you might think, and we provide some ideas on that as well.
All right, you got more for us tomorrow.
Yes, we do. As we mentioned, the Department of Labor Wage and Hour Division sometimes investigates. They sometimes collect large settlements on behalf of all the workers in your company, but sometimes those investigations take a long time, and it's very difficult to find some of those workers. So they've collected $64 million for 160,000 workers across the country they say they can't find. Well, we've got that list. Hundreds of Georgians on this list. We're going to tell you about some of them and also show you how you can find out whether your name's on this list tomorrow night at 6.
How about that? That's some serious money.
Yeah.
All right.
People could use it.
We'll see you tomorrow. Thanks.